My next project are these towers on the side of the cliff. When I was sketching out a plan, I had no idea what exactly I wanted these to be, and even as I was building them, I wasn't quite sure. But once I put in the beacon for getting haste, I decided to make it be like the power supply. And I wasn't quite sure what to do with the bottom two towers, but the top one, that was going to be the beacon and a very obviously powered building. So the initial structure of these buildings was extremely easy to put up. There weren't any details on it whatsoever. And I really, once I got the structures up, I really procrastinated in doing anything with them. I was thinking, oh, maybe this could be like an elevator from like the docks area. In my sketch, the buildings are a lot bigger than what it translates to Minecraft, so that is a disadvantage of sketching, is it's a 2D image for a 3D space. It really annoys me how the rockets go into your offhand, but you can't use them in your offhand. That's honestly one of my biggest pet peeves with Bedrock. So, yeah. This is just they were taking a screenshot for Be Real, and she had just built this playground, and it was pretty awesome. So we hung around there for a bit. But it definitely is nice to have a next door neighbor instead of being on the outskirts like I was before she decided to put her zoo there. But it's coming together. I like them. I'm doing copper roofs, like always. And I really wasn't sure for how to make them look, so they changed many, many times. But that's kind of what I settled on. But now I'm working on a satellite dish for the beacon to go through. And a lot of times when I'm building, I build out of dirt or moss. Something easy to build out of that's easy to break, so I don't have to completely undo what I was doing. It helps me get an idea for the exact shape that I want to build in. Now, something with this small, it wouldn't really matter a whole lot, but I still don't want to build something to its like final form and then tear it all down because I realize I don't like it. I really enjoy this helicopter as a platform. Sometimes I'll just go fly in there and sit. Just, yeah, looking at it from all angles. Do I like it? Do I don't like it? Um, yeah, so normally you wouldn't have satellite dishes. You typically see them tilted a bit because it's a beacon, it's going to be straight up and down. So I had to make it look not too weird. And this is really the only place that quartz is being used. I figure, like, in the details, there's going to be other blocks that will be used that aren't the main. Yeah, so the dish itself was pretty easy to build. I think it took maybe a day, a Minecraft day. And then I started placing in these like antenna things. I don't know anything about satellite dishes, but I put up iron bars because I was thinking, oh, that's going to be perfect for it. And this is before copper bars were in the game. But then I was looking at it, it just wasn't quite right. And I don't know why I decided a purple beam. I just like purple. I think purple just goes well with some of the other colors. And I didn't want it to blend in. So, because I didn't like the iron bars, they're too hard to see from far away. I tested out some different walls and fences. So you can see I tried the diorite, and then I'm trying the pale oak. However, walls will connect to glass, but fences don't. Once again, I'm asking for a second opinion because I'm unsure of what looks good, and then we get stuck. So as I'm looking at this, I'm really not liking the white on white. I think it needs more contrast. I like the iron bar color, but I don't like that they're so thin and then transparent in certain spots. It's not solid all the way through like a wall. Yeah, so we're just talking about what might look good, what might not. And finally, I go and get some andesite, and we decided that that looked a lot better than what was there before, but I had to try out some tough bricks first. The tough bricks were just a little too dark, in my opinion, when contrasting with the white. And again, there's no game audio because I had my sounds turned off on my laptop. And sometimes I forget to turn them back on because I don't play with sounds on most of the time. I'm really glad I built this med center to look at it. Now, in terms of the lag with the flying, I don't experience any in-game lag. Occasionally I will, but not as bad as what you're seeing here. This is just the recording lag, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just the fact that I play on a laptop, and it just can't do the same things a gaming laptop or a PC could handle. I am thinking about upgrading, but not for gaming, for actual like coding purposes. So yeah, I really like the andesite. I think it's the closest to the iron bars. Yeah. So once the happy guests were in the game, we I decided, oh well, this might be a good place to put my happy guest. However, I thought guests were 3 by 3 by 3, and I didn't bother to check that that was correct information. So I tried and failed and had to switch it to the larger tower. Once I looked up that there are 4 by 4. However, when I was doing this, it turns out you need just a little bit bigger than a 4 by 4 to get the happy guest in. So I ended up redoing my work a third time. Now, initially I thought I had recorded when we first got happy guests and stuff, but I had done a lot of transferring files and stuff on my computer, so I think it just got lost somewhere. But that's fine. I really like the happy guests. Uh, I didn't use mine for a while because they were lagging so badly on Realms. Yeah, so once I learned that I need to essentially do a 5 by 5, I had to go back down to the small one. And it took me so long to get back to this point that I'm actually recording the audio only a few days after I finished up this build, which is why you suddenly see shells used on the side of the buildings and stuff. And I really like the shelves. I I liked seeing the picture, but I just couldn't see where I was gonna use it. And then I just built a ton of them and started placing them around. You can see I put a little bit on the med center, and I really liked how that was. So I'm definitely gonna go around placing them. Now, I had a cyan guest before. That one was mine. I had guest number 1 named Cal. He had an orange harness and stuff. I don't remember how he died, but he didn't make it. I think it was on an adventure. Anyway, so then I had a cyan one, and the cyan one is the red pandas. Her name's Ophelia or something. I don't remember. And I'm just borrowing her. However, again, I don't play with game sounds, so I didn't realize what was happening until it happened. And I was horrified. And I'm, yeah, I stood there for a while because I couldn't believe what happened. And I still don't get how that happened. Like, why? The gas must have been partially on the piston. Uh, but in my head, I'm panicking. I don't know what to do. And so then I decide, like, I've got to go to the Nether. I've got to get a new happy gas and all that. So I had to replace her happy gas, and I wanted another happy gas for myself because my happy gas is currently being used really far away for another project I'm working on. And my second happy gas, her name's Hallie. But then I also wanted to have more another dried ghast, just as a backup, just in case. Because I'm clumsy like that when it comes to mobs. I'm not good at keeping them alive. And I was such in a panic, I forgot to get a, a potion of fire resistance. But after a while of waiting, I got my ghast, so I made a new one. This is Callie, and I replaced it. I did not use fences, and right now I'm on Ophelia. I don't know if that's the name. That's the name I think it is, and it's not named after the song. I think it's just named after the actual character. But I do like the Happy Gas for this slow flying around. I get to see my builds in a way that you just can't otherwise.